Welcome to Living a Full Life podcast. Join us as we explore health topics that encourage raising healthy children, living a healthy life, and living the best life possible. Now, here's your host.
Welcome back to Living a Full Life. Over the last two episodes, we talked about the gut-brain connection and how gut dysfunction can communicate to symptoms throughout the body. Today, we're talking about the biggest question of all: how do you actually heal the gut? We finally got to the episode. I know this is the one that wraps it all together, but I found that the other episodes to be really important in the understanding of why this is so important. Healing the gut is not just taking probiotics and hoping for the best. Many people are spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on supplements while never identifying what's actually causing the dysfunction in the first place. If you don't identify the root problem, you end up guessing. And guessing gets you nowhere. Welcome to Living a Full Life podcast. I'm Dr. Reinoculate, and we're going to wrap up this gut-brain connection stuff on how you can heal, if you've been suffering, how you can truly heal the gut. It just takes effort. It's not even that hard. It's not that hard. When you have the map and you know how to get there, it's not that hard. Just take the turns, take the rights, use your signals, follow the traffic signals, obey the speed limit, and you'll get there safe and sound. That's how this all works. And there's just no roadmap when it comes to the gut in modern medicine. We don't do that. We treat pathology in medicine. So if you don't have an organ that has an issue, then we can't help you. That's just the way it works. If there's no pathology, there's no treatment. So with gut issues, you can do an endoscopy. You can do a colonoscopy, and it can look relatively well. They may just check a polyp, and that's it. And you're like, but listen, I've got digestive issues, and they're looking in there. There's a little bit of inflammation, but it's not chronic, or it's not really bad, or it's not ulcerative colitis. It's not ulcerating. It's not perforating. You'd be like, man, it's red. They're like, it's discolored. It's red. You're inflamed. Here's some steroids to reduce the inflammation, but you can only take that for 7 to 10 days. What do you do for the next 10 years, right? So let's start with why so many people stay stuck in this when they're trying to help. People take probiotics, digestive enzymes, green powders, or gut powders without any real understanding of what their body actually needs. They're just guessing. They're like, maybe I need a probiotic. Maybe I need something to help me digest better because I have reflux. But what they really need, and they're chasing symptoms, the reflux, the irritable bowel, the whatever it is, chasing and chasing and chasing. And then there's all these trends going on. Social media health trends, elimination diets, detoxes, extreme protocols, only carnivore, only eating bananas. It's crazy what's out there. A protocol that helps someone online may not address your underlying problem. And I'm going to go even one step further. A protocol that helps someone online, you're not getting the full story of it, and it will not help you with your condition. Man, people got on this carnivore thing quickly, huh? It helped me. I feel so great. I lost weight. My tummy feels better. You should try it too. They're telling everyone to try it. And then some people are like, man, am I supposed to feel better? I don't really feel better. And some people feel worse. They're like, what the heck? That's worse. At least having those symptoms helps people understand, like, I feel worse. I'm stopping. Makes sense. But the other people that are on the fence are like, I don't feel any better. Am I doing the right thing? And they stick with it. May not get to a solution with that either. And feeling better is just one step of it. It doesn't mean that we're truly better. So only treating symptoms like reflux, bloating, constipation, fatigue. Symptoms are important, but symptoms are not always the root cause. We have to remember that. Healing requires investigation, not guessing. One of the biggest shifts in healthcare is moving from symptom management to understanding why dysfunction exists. And that takes time. And that's something modern medicine does not have. Because a patient in, a patient out, a patient in, a patient out, a patient in, a patient out. That's how it works. They're on the clock. They literally are. We know this, right? The 7-minute appointment or whatever's going on there, both in the hospital, in the ER, in the urgent care, and in primary care. it's on the clock. You have to see so many people per day, especially if they're in network with insurances, because now they're taking contracted discounted rates per person, getting paid the insurance rates, which is fine. This doesn't have to be about money, but that's why 7 minutes with somebody doesn't work. When we sit down with people, it's 60, 90 minutes. I mean, we need to understand what's not the first time, every time you sit down with them, you start the program of care, you get the stool test back or the testing back, you set a protocol, you start the protocol, you do that for 90 days, but we talk in 30 days, not in 90 days, talk in 30 days. And 30, come back in 4 weeks, sit down. Might not be an hour and a half. It might be half an hour, but it's half an hour. You sit down, you talk, you go through it, or virtually or on Zoom, whatever works, and you get the healthcare that you need. So we need to understand why the dysfunction exists, and that takes time. You have to find a provider that gives you the time and is knowledgeable, because a new provider just out of school has lots of time, but hasn't seen that many cases of lupus before, or SIBO, or hasn't seen the cases yet, right? Nothing against them. They got to start somewhere, and they have lots of time for you. But with experience comes managing of time and outcomes, which that's your best combination right there. So the testing, this is how we're going to find the solutions. Stool testing is the number one microbiome test you can do that we have today in 2026 in all of science is a stool test. The better labs you send them to, the more vast the reporting is, and the better the analysis is that comes from the lab. The lab will actually not only tell you what's high and low for bacteria, it will give an example, it will give a report on each and every family of bacteria that's there and why high and low and what it could mean. That is for you as a patient to understand. It's for your healthcare provider to be like, okay, I need to focus on these that are causing most of the dysbiosis. And then the provider uses their knowledge on those bacteria for that dysbiosis and how to treat it. Do we attack the high level of bad bacteria that's there first? Or is the low level of good bacteria that are hanging on to survive in this environment the bigger issue right now? And do we have to fuel that and get them better? Is the bad bacteria interacting with the good bacteria and killing them off? There's some species that do that. There's some that just don't coexist together well. There's others that do coexist together well, and one just eats up resources a lot quicker than the others. Lots of stuff that happens with that. And what ends up happening is we can dive into microbiome diversity, bacterial imbalances, yeast overgrowths, parasites that might be hiding in there, inflammation markers, digestive function, absorption markers. We get a true gut review. Two people can both have bloating, but for completely different reasons. That's why chasing symptoms doesn't work. You give one the probiotic, you give the other the exact same probiotic, they both come back not much better. Or maybe one says, I do feel a little bit better. One may have poor digestion, another may have dysbiosis, another may have inflammation, another may be under chronic stress. So we have to look at an individual as the unique individual and not just the symptoms. Does that make sense? Bloating, for example, what a great one. It could be for so many different reasons. So we have to look at that and where that could be coming from. Inflammation markers, these are important. Calprotectin, inflammatory indicators, gut integrity markers. These are all things that are being reviewed at the same time. Testing doesn't replace clinical judgment, but it gives us valuable information that helps personalize care instead of blindly guessing. It's amazing how we skip the testing phase. Imagine if your heart had symptoms, skipping beats, out of sync, almost feel like it's stopping for a little bit of time and then kickstarting again. I'm pretty sure you would be on the phone pretty quick, either with your doctor or checking yourself into the ER same day. I don't think you'd wait. Many of you listening to this podcast, I don't think you'd be like, I'll see how I feel tomorrow. Well, maybe if you're a dude, If you have the Y chromosome, you would probably do that. But if you have two X chromosomes, you're probably going straight to the ER that day, being like, this isn't right. It's funny when it comes to everything else, like the gut, we'll be like, oh, you know what? And the point of that story was you go to the ER and they're like, ooh, what's happening? You're skipping beats, low heart rate. Ooh, let's get you in for some testing. Oh, thank God. Please test it out. And they're going to be like, we're going to do an EKG. We're going to do an ultrasound, an echocardiogram, and a chest x-ray like right now. And you're like, yep, yes, you are. There'd be no pushback. Now, when your gut's hurting, this is what happens. 1 out of 5 people, they'll have this conversation. We're like, listen, we recommend starting with a stool test. It's $275. I forget what it is specifically. $275. And the food sensitivity test, that's $200. And all that goes through their head is $475. And they're like, oh, I don't know. But the heart person walks out of there with all the testing, insurance covered it. It's January. So they walk out and then they get a bill in the mail for $1,800 for their copay, right? For all that stuff that happened, or $1,200 or $800. No questions asked. That's going to go towards their out-of-network deductible or in-network deductible. And they look at it that way. But you're out $800. And for good reason. You checked your heart and hopefully everything came back positive and that's all great, or negative. Everything's clear. You're good. But when we look at the gut and we have this testing, money will stop us from doing that. And if you're true about this, you're going to trade the dollars for the results. And that's why we do this. So that can't be a hurdle for you. The 5 R's of gut healing that I have are remove, replace, reinoculate, repair, and rebalance. So when we remove, which is the first phase of repairing the gut, we have to remove the bad stuff. Inflammatory foods, processed foods, pathogens, triggers, excessive alcohol, and chronic stressors. So when we sit here, we talk about doing the 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 120-day protocol. It's an entire protocol of a list of things to do. And that is diet, watching what you eat, eating particular things, removing inflammatory foods and processed foods, attacking the pathogens with the whatever supplementations or herbs or medicines that are given, triggers, being mindful of the triggers, minimizing alcohol because it counteracts a lot of the supplements that we take, and chronic stressors through that 90 days or 120 days. That's the remove protocol. That's the part that the patient takes home and needs to follow in order for success to come. Then the doctor's helping you replace. Now we have to replace. Once we remove the stuff that's been feeding the bad guys, we have to replace it to feed the good guys or rebuild or whatever it is that we need to do, or kill the parasite or whatever it may be. Digestive support, nutrients. We have to reprogram the nutrients into the system. Hydration, stomach acid support when appropriate, and enzyme support. So we're replacing, not because everything's wrong, but because we want to make sure we control the gut with everything it needs for digestive support. Nutrition, hydration, enzymes, everything the gut needs to perform optimally is going to be given to it. So we remove and then we replace. Then once we balance the gut, where it's not perfect yet. Now the gut is functioning. This is where the patients start to notice changes in symptoms. Their skin clears up, their sleep improves. That's how we know inflammation markers are going down. We may resend for a blood test at that point, maybe not. Then we re-inoculate. Now at this point, we don't want to over stress the gut system because we're doing this stuff. We're removing, we're replacing. There's a lot going on, a lot of change happening. We re-inoculate with probiotics, prebiotics, fiber, healthy bacteria, and diversity in foods. We need a vast array of specific foods that ferment, break down, amino acid chain, certain balance of foods that do things inside the gut at specific times. Proteins take longer to digest. Carbohydrates are faster. Fats are a little bit slower. We time these things properly through the diet over time, and that's where repair starts to happen. And that's the 4th R, repair. The gut does this. Your body does this. The gut lining support, sleep, recovery, and reducing inflammation overall. So now we're doing anti-inflammatory things for the whole body. Might be turmeric, curcumin, high dose. I could get into some IV stuff. You can help with some peptides now are really cool. They're newer, so I don't have much for you as far as background information. They're newer, but very promising in helping people. BPC 157, all these great little things that you can add there to help reduce inflammation and speed up recovery. And then 5 is Rebalance. By this point, patients are feeling way better. They are so thankful that they did this. They're at a point where they're like, they see the light at the end of the tunnel and they get emotional. They're like, I can't believe this has been 15 years of my life and I had to do this. It wasn't that difficult, but it takes time. This is where we rebalance. And the beauty about our office is they're usually going to get adjusted and their nervous system is going to get some TLC as well. So now the whole body gets to heal as long as with their gut. And that's the combination that's in there for the nervous system regulation. So we deal with the stress, we process the stress, we recover from the stress. You can't fully heal while you're stuck in fight or flight mode. We talked about that in the last episode, or the first episode of this 3-part series 2 weeks ago, about the parasympathetic nervous system not being able to do what it needs to do to function optimally because the sympathetic nervous system, the stress response, is always functioning pedal to the metal every day. And the parasympathetic's like, come on, we got to hit the brake. I'm the brake. You're the gas. We got to just pump the brake a little bit. Can we do that? So it hasn't been able to. And that's where the nervous system connection works and getting adjusted. It pumps the brakes. It helps pump the brakes, gets us back into parasympathetic and sympathetic balance. And that's what sympathetic dominance does. It causes chronic stress physiology. It stimulates the vagus nerve abruptly. And the parasympathetics can't heal. And that's the whole point of trying to get us back into this balance. And it's fascinating that the gut is the hub of this immaculate nervous system that we call the central nervous system. It's the hub. It's where information gets processed through from the brain, and it's coordinated through the gut. And it's cool. I'm fascinated by where science is going through now on the gut. And it's amazing to be like, wow, I have to treat the gut just as well as I treat the brain. Think about our brain, how we protect it, the skull, the helmets, everything we do is brain focused. Because if that goes down, the whole system goes down. But we have to have that same TLC for the gut and take care of it and be careful on how we treat it so that we can maintain proper function. Digestion, healing, absorption, hormone balance, recovery, all function best when the nervous system feels safe. Don't you just function best when your nervous system feels safe? I mean, just when your nervous system's agitated all the time, it feels like you're always looking over your shoulder. You're always in protection mode. You're seeing the world defensively. You're waiting for the next thing to happen. You feel like you're ready for it, but you're just constantly in this protection mode. We're not designed to be like that all the time. We're designed to just rest. And when you rest and you're relaxed, you just feel good. Don't you think about vacations, those best vacations you've been on, either with the family or without, or with your spouse, where you come back, you're like, that was so awesome. Not only was I relaxed, things went well. We enjoyed our time. We connected. There was good food. I mean, what the things that you love, and then you wrap it up. You're like, that was a phenomenal, well worth the time, money, and effort to do this. It's because your nervous system was calm. That's what made you feel so great, was being back to calmness in the nervous system. And that's where the hub of the chronic inflammation all happens. One thing people need to understand is that healing is not going to happen overnight. And we live in such a convenient time in human history where mostly anything you want or need can be given to you in the same day, if not the same moment. You hungry? You can go to the fridge. You can call Uber Eats. You can drive to a restaurant. You can drive through a drive-through. If you're tired, you can take a nap. You literally can take a nap. You can go in your car. Our car seats are more luxurious than what people were sleeping on 100 years ago. Like, you go sleep in the car. You take a nap. You need this, you can get it. You want that, you can do this. We live in the most convenient time in human history, and what that's done for us with the comfort. My wife, if she's listening, she's like, don't you dare do it. Don't you dare do the fat American lazy thing. I'm not going to do it. But that comfort is what makes us sit back and just get too comfortable with life. And it's easy to just stock the pantry with their favorite snacks and every night go to those inflammatory snacks and eat those chips from the bad that are cooked in the bad oil, eat it and wonder why we're tired or we have brain fog. It's because we've created habits over time. And it's amazing when you look at your age and you're like, how am I this old? How am I turning this age this year? Where did that go? Where did that happen? And then you stop and you're like, well, what habits have I had since my 20s that I still do today? Oh man, that chocolate fixation, is that bad or is that good? That caffeine fixation, is that bad or is that good? And you started analyzing the cumulative effects of the choices that we make. And then it's not a big surprise as to why we have something that we now have to take control of and heal. We can man up or confess the damage and then be an adult about it and go ahead and fix it. So healing happens in layers. Understand that. Symptoms fluctuate through healing as well. You feel like, because, when we have a headache, you take a Motrin, the headache goes away 20 minutes later. We're used to that. We're like, well, I took the medicine. Why am I not better? Because body doesn't work that way. That headache wasn't because of a lack of Motrin in your blood system, and then you took a Motrin and you fixed it. What happened is that it was dehydrated, it's stressed, there's neck tension, there's dura mater tension, whatever, there's increased brain blood pressure, whatever was causing it, the anti-inflammatory that you took reduced that irritation and gave you relief. That headache may come back tomorrow because you didn't deal with the source of the dehydration or whatever it may be. But we live in this quick access life now where we can get results pretty quickly. If you're having an anaphylactic reaction, boom, EpiPen in the thigh, adrenaline, the reaction remits, and then you're okay. Pretty cool stuff we have out there. Have a chronic infection, it's spreading, get penicillin, something right away on there, treat it, stop it, boom, don't lose an arm. Pretty cool what medicine can do for us. But we're used to that. And we get discouraged when we're like, why didn't that medicine work? Why didn't that peptide work immediately in one day? So that's where we're all there. So the early wins that people have immediately once they start to do this, and they have the right quarterback to do this, is improved energy right away. They're like, yes, I feel like I can do more. Better sleep, which helps the energy. Less bloating, clearer thinking, improved bowel movements, and reduced inflammation. And that all happens within the first week or weeks of doing this. So if you have any concerns for yourself or anyone you know, share the episodes, get them to info@fulllifetampa.com, send us an email, reach out to us, and get into one of our neuroimmune protocols that we have. They're all specific to the patients and based on their tests. And the goal is never for just symptom suppression. That's never the goal. The goal is for restoring function and measuring that. The human body has an incredible ability to heal when you remove interference and provide the right environment. And I hope you guys, this helps. Share it. We'll be back next week with a new topic. And health, is not built through any supplements or any type of diets. Health's built through consistent habits, reduced inflammation, nervous system balance, and addressing the root causes. That's where all of this happens together. And if and what you do, I keep saying, and if you need help, email us at info@fulllifetampa.com. I do that each time. And for this episode, you need help. I expect to hear from you so that I can do my job that I love and refer you anywhere in the country that you need to go to get better. It may be at our office. It may not be. But if you're suffering, I expect an email from you so that we can help you. This is the reason you're listening to this right now is a direct act of God. Like, there's a reason for this. Email us and let us help you. or anyone you love. Like, help them. Let us help them. Help you, help them, help us, help them. Yeah, one of those things. Have a great and healthy week. Stay well, stay healthy, and take care.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Living a Full Life podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.